Hi and welcome back to Teach Me Again channel. Welcome to another Excel based template video. In this video I have come up with another Excel based template for you. I have designed and developed an Excel based template which is basically for test specification. Test specifications are those documents which are used by testers where they capture the test cases against the requirements, and also they do record the test status which might be passed, failed against the test cases. So now what you're seeing on my screen right now is the test results summary screen where I have plotted each of those test cases against the results in a graphical manner. So I have tried to populate the test results in form of failed, not executed and passed in the first chart that you are seeing here. And in the second chart, I am trying to capture the number of failed test cases against the number of defects which have been raised against the failed test cases. This chart I have just plotted so as to demonstrate if there are defects which have been logged against the failed test cases for tracking purposes or not. You can also modify as based on your requirement also. And in the last chart, what I have tried to do here is the requirements coverage. This is just to demonstrate that you have written the test cases against those number of requirements available or not. So this is what shows in the third chart. And also there is another section which you will see as summary at the bottom here, where there are some statements which are being populated. So it reads as there are 33.33% of test cases passed out of total 3 test cases, and 1 defects are recorded for 1 number of failed test cases, and there are 3 number of test cases for 3 number of requirements. So these are summarized statements which will be automatically populated. So I have just written a formulas against each of those. So these are automatically populated just to summarize each of these charts. Okay. So now let me drive you through each of the worksheets, how you will be able to write the test cases and how you will be able to record your test results and so on. Where are the data that you need to write in and what are the mandatory fields and so on and such. Let's get started.
Hi, welcome to Teach Me Again channel. If you are watching my video for the first time, please do subscribe to my channel to stay updated with my videos. Also, don't forget to like and share this video.
Let me go to the first sheet which is mentioned as cover. So this is the cover page of the test specification, which will show you what is the project about and what is the department about and who is the test author for this particular test case or the test specification, and who is the reviewer or approver of the test specification. And you can also record the remarks, like for example it might be your initial version development of your test specification. You can also record them here in the remarks section. And next, the status worksheet. This you have already gone through now. And let me go to the test specification worksheet tab. So what you are seeing, the different columns, the tables in this particular worksheet or the tab are, so this is basically the test specification where you will record each of your test cases against the requirements. I will walk you through in some time later how each of these fields or the attributes that you need to fill in. Now let me go to another worksheet which is at the last here where it is mentioned as data. So this is the sheet that you need to mandatory fill in. I have populated the different fields that might be required for your test case or the test specification development. One would be the project name, and one would be the department and who is the author, and another field would be the test reviewer or the approver. So as an example, I have tried to populate or write in the names for demonstration purposes here, like the project name is HMI, department is automotive, and test author is Amit, and test reviewer is Rajesh. So these are the names which I have just tried to populate for demonstration purposes. So these fields you have to mandatory fill in, so as to these are the things that will get populated in other sheets like status and the test specification, as well as the cover page as well. Now let me go to test specification worksheet. So for demonstration purposes, I have just tried to populate 3 test cases against the 3 requirements here. Now you as a reviewer or the test author, you need to start filling in from row B8 until M column. So this is where you need to fill in. Okay, so I have tried to capture the columns like test case ID, requirement ID, and the test objective. What are your test steps? What is the test design technique? What is the expected behavior? What is the actual behavior? And whether you are considering it for regression testing. So you will see a drop down here as yes or no. And the test status, I have tried to populate 3 attributes here like pass, fail, and not executed. And the defect ID column, you can log the defects for your tracking purposes whenever there is a failed test case. That is why, as an example, in front of the test status which is failed, I have tried to capture as a bug 1 under the defect ID column. And whenever there is a failed test cases, you can capture the logs via the tools that you might be using. And if you are capturing the logs anywhere and you're trying to save them or for recording purposes anywhere in your OneDrive or your SharePoint, then you can place those files there and you can give the link here. And you need not do any sort of updation in column N and column O, which is basically this is automatically populated. So now let me drive you through how this test cases are basically working on in the status. Once you fill in all these attributes as per your requirements, where you write the test cases, so these are the things which automatically get populated as charts in this status worksheet. Okay, so as an example, where I had populated the test results, one with a fail case and one with a not executed case and another one with a pass case. This is being automatically populated. So now let me go back to test specification worksheet and try to add in another test case for demonstration purposes and show you how this would be added. So now I am just adding one test case, and I will add another requirement. I'm trying to map it to another requirement, and I will just take an example of another test objective, screen turn on. So this is my test objective. I will write my precondition as only when it is power on. So I have to turn on my screen on, so I have to set certain signals to 1, and since this test case or the test step would be basically I'm trying to check the boundary value, so I will select the boundary value analysis, and my expected behavior should be screen should be turned on. So now so this is where I have prepared the test specification now. So once I perform the real execution, I will try to record my test cases. So in case if my scenario is if the screen did not turn on, so I will record it accordingly, and then I will write if I'm trying to do a regression test, then I will capture it as yes. If I'm not doing a regression test, then I will capture it as no. And now if there is a failed in the sense the test case did not work against the expected behavior, then I will record it as fail. Then for tracking purposes, I will log another bug for tracking purposes, and I would also take the traces or the logs for my test case, and that's it. This is how you need to update it. And whatever you saw here in the column N and column O, this is the real-time data. For example, if I have updated in row 1, which is test case 4, so I have updated this now in real time. So this is capturing the user, in the sense the system user, so it is the name that is getting automatically populated. This is also an evidence which shows the particular tester has recorded it and he need not do any further changes, and also it captures at what date or time he has performed this particular execution. It also records those particular dates and as well as the time along with that. So now let me go back for this particular test case and the execution which I have performed. How does it look on my status? And now for the status to get updated, let me try to refresh the chart here, and let me refresh this chart too, and let me refresh the last chart. So now if you see, there are 4 total test cases, out of which the recent one which I marked it as fail for demonstration purposes. That is why you will see in the first chart 2 failed test cases are available, and there is the older data also, which is one is not executed and one is failed. And now as a second chart which I'm trying to demonstrate in a way how many number of defects have been logged against how many number of failed test cases. So in case if I have 2 failed test cases, I have also logged 2 defects against the failed test cases for tracking purposes. And also finally, to say that I have a requirements coverage, so in the sense to say against the requirements, I have also converted them into test cases. So this is what as a requirement coverage it tries to show up here. So in the sense, I have 4 requirements which is trying to be demonstrated in blue color here. Against those 4 requirements, I have written 4 test cases. Now if you see the automatically populated statements here, so it also says there are 25% of test cases passed out of 4 total test cases. So even if you count here 2, 1, 1, which are total 4 test cases in number, and 2 defects are recorded for 2 number of failed test cases, and finally there are 4 number of test cases for 4 number of requirements. This also ensures that all of your data is really intact. And finally, let me show you the cover page as well. So whatever data I had written in the final data worksheet, this is how it shows. I hope this video was very helpful to you in writing a particular test specifications against the requirements. I would also drop this link for downloading for you, which might help you for further usage. If you have any further inputs or how I could improvise this particular Excel worksheet for test specification, please do let me know in the comments below of my video. And stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.